Hello and good morning. I did not let the timer go all the way down to 0 because I was so excited to start. Okay, a few ground rules before we actually start. First of all, this is my first scheduled stream. I hope it goes well. I hope there will be no major technical issues, even though there was one just in the beginning. But it wasn't major. It was just a technical issue that I can deal with. I'm happy about that. Oh, hi. Hello. Hi, Coffee. Even the place where I'm looking at the chat is different, so I am worried that I'll mess something up, but okay. So first ground rule is that I am not an expert in AI, so I am looking at it as someone with some... Huh? Oh yeah, definitely sponsor. My glasses, it is sponsored, you're right. And it's actually cool because if people ask me what tool I'm using, I'm like, look at my glasses. Yeah, I'm not an expert in this thing, so I am looking at it as... Oh, timer actually ended. I'm looking at it as someone with knowledge of just like basic CS, so expect me not to understand stuff. Yes, let's do this. I have been extremely curious about DeepSeek, and I really love their tagline of Into the Unknown. That's why I call it a dive into the unknown. What? What do you mean stream is over? Am I really not streaming? Ande. See, now I need to... where is it over? On Twitch or... No, stream just started. Nope, stream has just started. Alright, so I really like the... because of my timer. Oh no, it was supposed to be the start timer, but I was too excited to start. I know I did overdo it because I needed to make coffee, and I did. So instant coffee, but still coffee. Right, so let's dive into the unknown. Oh wow, this is the Elsa thing, isn't it? Yes, so I have a few things that I want to go over, but if you at any time think of something interesting, I would happily... ooh, someone posted something in the chat. Huh? What? Quit your job? Oh, no, wait, this is real. Wait, this cannot be real. This has to be like someone made this as a fun thing. All right, let's share it with the class. This is obviously DeepSeek related. That is why we're sharing it with the class. So it says, okay, how to install CUDA 12.2 on Ubuntu. First step, quit your job. All you need... You'll need all the time in the world for this. Say goodbye to productivity and all relationships. This has to be a joke. And it thought for 42 minutes. Wow, I am so smart. I realize it's a joke. Yeah, okay, that's funny. Thank you for sharing this. 9796. All right, so we start with going to their GitHub. So, try asking that. I don't know, just saw it and posted it. Okay, no, that was funny. Thank you for posting it. It was a lovely lovely laugh. And thank you for being here. Hi, Abdul. I'm gonna call you Abdullah. I don't know. Your name is like Abdul. It ends somewhere. Yeah, so if we go to like the main DeepSeek.ai, we can see there are different versions. There's what does VL stand for? Vision language. Wow, this is multimodal. What? Why is there one person? Oh my god, look at that, it's so cute. So we have V3 VL2, and R1. I mean, I'm really interested in R1, but I'm guessing this is really recent. Let's just look at the dates, because like I want to go into some of their issues and stuff, if there are any. So this README has been available. Well, let's start with ignore since last month for V3. For VL2, it's been available since 2 months ago. So, okay, that is, I'm guessing this is V2, basically. And then for R1, it's been available since last week. And apparently, the only thing that's available is a PDF. Where? Why? Yeah. I hope you aren't planning on to use. No. It's less about using and more about learning about it. And if we use it along the way, then that's the friends we make along the way. So let's okay, I'm going to read the introduction and then we can go through it a bit skimmingly, because in a matter of 2 hours, we can't really learn too much, but I'm still going to try my best to learn stuff. 10 to 15 in a row over 30 minutes. It hits you with, you are sending too many messages. After this many chats? Interesting. Okay. By the way, you guys see this watermark, right? I think you are. Is there a watermark? Oh, hope so. There isn't. Cool. Awesome. Now, so yes. We present DeepSeek version 3, a strong mixture of experts. It is a mixture of experts that I learned about. Paper link, I'll get to you. Language model with 671 billion total parameters, with 37 billion activated for each token. Okay, that really does not mean much to me, but okay. Numbers big, cool. To achieve efficient inference and cost-effective training, DeepSeek V3 adopts multi-head latent attention and DeepSeek MOE architecture, which is mixture of experts, not Ministry of Education. Okay, which were thoroughly validated in DeepSeek V2. Do we need to read about DeepSeek V2 before we learn about V3? I hope not. I hope this is extensive enough. Furthermore, V3 pioneers an auxiliary loss-free strategy for load balancing and sets a multi-token prediction training objective for stronger performance. Load balancing and multi-token prediction training. I'm not sure I know what that means. I wouldn't mind as much being rate limited for actual messages. Fair. I guess the active versus total params is which is a really good thing, right? The total versus active is 5%. For inference, that is a lot, but it's not the whole thing, which is definitely a good thing. We pre-trained DeepSeek version 3 on 14 trillion diverse high-quality tokens. Yeah, where did you get them? Followed by supervised fine-tuning and reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is making a comeback, people. Stages to fully harness its capabilities. Because for me, when I say reinforcement learning, I'm DeepMind, because that is their thing. Most of their work is reinforcement learning, as far as I know. And why didn't I know that DeepMind won a Nobel Prize? Did you guys know DeepMind, head of DeepMind, won a Nobel Prize 2024? I know Geoffrey Hinton did, but I didn't know he did. So, yes. I feel like it wasn't as loud when Geoffrey Hinton won. It was should a computer person win for physics? But they never asked, should a computer person win for chemistry? Or maybe they did, it just didn't get to my eyes. It means if you're running a server for many users, it's like your model is only 37 billion, where when I don't know what that word is. Okay, so you're getting a distilled almost version, almost as powerful as the whole thing. Yeah, okay, that is amazing. Fully harness its capabilities. Comprehensive evaluations reveal that DeepSeek version 3 outperforms other open source models and achieves performance comparable to leading closed source models. What do you think they mean by this? This is literally like and ChatGPT as well. Despite its excellent performance, I mean, dude, excellence is not like quantifiable, but I'll let you go because there's a chart here. V3 requires only this GPU. Oh, this many GPU hours. Does this M mean million? I don't know. I'm guessing you can use multiple of them to make the hour go down for its full training. In addition, its training process is remarkably stable throughout the entire training process. We did not experience any, irrecoverable loss, spikes, or perform any rollbacks. Cool. Claude, Anthropic as well. Okay. I remember when, like, I don't know, I'm sure I read it somewhere, like I didn't think of this, but I remember when like reading about like sizes of models just going up, I was like, when someone can do, like for me, it was mostly about the GPUs and cost, not the size of the model or training data, because training data is not little for DeepSeek as well. Or maybe for me it was about all of them, but the global warming related, like just too many resources part, if someone can do more with less, then their model is going to be huge. And I hope, like, I see DeepSeek to be something close to that. Oh, Quinn 3 came out recently, right? Okay, so do I know of any? This is a math, this is code force. Okay, all right. The other ones, I'm not sure I know what they are. Ooh, resolved. Who resolved? Percentile. Okay, this is the only one it's not passing. The highest one. Highest one is Claude. Yes, and it's SWE bench. Okay. Ooh. All right, I'm actually going to read them because that is interesting. Should I go to the paper, or is this like a summarized version? Innovative load balancing strategy and training objective. On top of the efficient architecture of V2, we pioneer, you said that already, and the multi-token prediction. Multi-token prediction. I read multi-token, I wasn't sure. You're torn on that, sadly. I'm doing more with less. Someone else to try and scale up the less until it's just polluting more. Yeah, I guess I was talking about that with a friend recently. So, like, just saying doing more with less just means less people, paying less people, and doing the same thing in this capitalistic world. So that one is a very, very interesting point that you brought up. Yeah, I actually agree with you on that. And then pre-training. We design a FP8 mixed precision training framework, and for the first time, validate the feasibility and effectiveness of FP8 training on extremely large-scale models. Isn't it normally 16 or 32? And like this is like very small, which is a good thing? Question mark. Multi-token prediction is like next for prediction, but for multiple tokens ahead. It encourages a model to think ahead. Right. Is this like a form of thinking? Because it can see more? Like, yeah, thinking before speaking in a way, but like it does speak, but it speaks with a wow, interesting. Okay. I like how we compare what the model does to what we do and try to make it do what we do. Because that is how I was watching Jeffrey Hinton's Nobel Prize speech, and he was talking about how he was motivated by learning about the brain. And that does feel like that, doesn't it? Through co-design of algorithms, framework, and hardware, we overcame the communication bottleneck in cross-node. What did MOE stand for again? Uh-oh, I forgot. Mixture of experts, got it. Training. Nearly achieving full computation communication overlap. This significantly enhances our training efficiency and reduce the training cost, enabling us to further scale up the model size without additional overhead. Not really thinking, but it means it's less likely to get stuff in repetition or other bad outputs. Yeah. Not exactly thinking, but close enough. That we can compare it to it. At an economical cost of only 2.6 M each 800 GPU hours, we complete the pre-training on 14.8 trillion tokens, producing the currently strongest open source based model. The subsequent training stages after pre-training require only 0.1 GPU hours. So that is like huge. Post-training knowledge distillation from DeepSeek R1. We introduce an innovative methodology to distill reasoning capabilities from the long chain of thought COT model. Oh, that's money. Oh, the M is money. Thank you. Okay, because it says GPU hours. That's why I'm like, is this hours? It's money. Good. Specifically from one of the DeepSeek R1 series model into standard LLMs, particularly V3. Our pipeline elegantly incorporates the verification and reflection patterns of R1 into V3. It does, and notably improves its reasoning performance. Meanwhile, we also maintain a control over the output style and length. Cool. And then the base model. Wait, what's the difference? Well, what is happening? Why is this the same? Okay, I'm going to Hugging Face and question why these are the same. I don't think that should be the same, right? How would I know? Base? Not base. Base? Not base. They have the same link. What's the difference? Anyway. Oh, hi! Cleonium Ina. Hi. M is million. Okay, either way. It's like, yeah, I heard the 6 million. I heard 6 million. Would come from, if I recall, they used estimating $2 if they rented the compute. So it's an estimation, not a final thing. Cool. Very, very cool. Okay, let me go back to trying and using my brain. Also, hi, do I call you Cleo or do I call you Ina? I'm not sure. Thank you for being here. Evaluation. Total size of the models on Hugging Face is 85, which is main model plus, no way, weights and the module weights. Thank you. Ooh, have to run locally. That is awesome. I'm not gonna do that, obviously, but I am going to try and learn about it, even if I do not run it. Okay, I'm back. That was a sneeze break. All right, standard benchmarks. Do we have it for, all right, I was about to ask other languages, but then it became not languages. We are comparing them with other open source models. Cool. Ads? Actual ads? Like Twitch ads? Or, human eval. All right, math. There we go. See, it does have multilingual ones. Cleo's fine. Thank you for lurking here. I will try to have fun while trying to learn, because it doesn't always work out. So Chinese is also one, and then other multilingual non-English. It's 5-shot, not 0-shot, 1-shot. But it is doing a good job. Not great. Actually, some of these are not great overall. Interesting. I mean, who am I to judge? I see a 60 here, but the other ones are even lower. I'm judging it as if it's a school project. Yes. Context window. Needle in a haystack? Oh, wait, what's the difference between that? Our standard benchmarks and then chat model. Okay. Chinese, and it stops here. Open-ended generation evaluation. All right. Platforms. API. Okay. How to run locally. MMLU tends to be 5-shot. I didn't know that. DeepSeek inference demo. And then by this, do we mean running locally? Yeah. Do we mean running your own version? Probably that's what we mean. Make a copy somewhere and then run it. Obviously people are doing that already. Hugging Face Transformers is not supported yet. All right. And example only. All right. So this is how you run it. Recommended. Citation. So that was the model card, I suppose. What I am interested if people have been trying to like fine-tune DeepSeek for like more specific stuff. Oh wow, API has been offline for 3 days. Okay, reference fine-tuning code. Is there code on fine-tuning? How to use comprehensive guide for beginners. Cool. Training. Yeah. Like, I'm curious. I believe. Oh, there are smaller versions. You're right. VLLM is inference software. Yes, like Olama. Ah, yep. Maybe some of the stills have fine tunes. Right. Before I go deeper into that, I think we need a break of because I need to drink some water. So the break is going to be watching the Computerphile video because I find it very, very interesting. So
is announced.
That's right.
New day, another piece of AI is announced.
That's right.
Why is this one so important?
We don't tend to do that many videos for the release of a new AI model just because there are a lot of them and lots of them are not that interesting, right? But in the last few days, a model called DeepSeek has come out and a new model called DeepSeek R1 that are very interesting, right? And I think actually are really threatening the kind of monopoly that certain companies have on this system. And so let's talk about why that is and why we should be really excited. Perhaps we should just step away for a minute and just for those people that have kind of not been paying attention, maybe this is the first time you've ever watched a video with me in it. What is a large language model? A large language model is a very, very big transformer-based neural network that does next word prediction. And so
now, there's a lot of jargon there, so how do we get through some of that jargon?
All right, yeah, okay. So a neural network is the sort of a standard for machine learning. Things like convolutional neural networks are very, very popular in image-based computer vision, AI for video, these kind of things. And transformers, since about 2017, have become a really big thing in generative AI.
But what we didn't know really was how far you can push them or how good they can get.
And so you could kind of, I suppose, split generative AI in two. You've got diffusion models, which do image generation, and you've got transformers that do text generation. And it's worth remembering that all modern AI of this kind is text generation, rather than kind of going off and, coming up with some fundamental concepts of your own and coming back. And so basically the way that you normally train these models is you get a huge model that is too big for most of us to train. You get hundreds of thousands of GPUs possibly.
So these are the graphics cards.
The graphics cards that train the model, and then you just batch through all of the text on the internet, learning how to predict the next word over and over again until you get so good at it that you can start regurgitating facts. You can even start solving logic problems or mathematical problems and things like this, right? But what's happened is, over the last few years, since ChatGPT was announced in what was it, 2022? I mean, it's not even been that long. There's been this kind of arms race among all the tech companies of who can build the biggest model, who can build the most performant model. And generally speaking, their approach to doing this is to make them bigger, to make the data sets bigger, to make the models bigger, to make them more clever, and train them until you get that better performance. We've spoken about this in previous videos on how much you can keep doing that, but that's kind of not what we're talking about today. The idea is basically, has always been that if you have 100,000 graphics cards, if you have billions of dollars to spend, you're going to be at an advantage because you have that power that you can train the largest models. Now, some companies like OpenAI keep their models behind the scenes and they expose them through an API or a web interface or something like this, and they very rarely give them away to anyone apart from perhaps close partners. They also very rarely tell you exactly how they've trained the model, what the data set was, what the actual model parameters are, and how big it is, and things like this. On the other hand, a company like Meta, so you'll know Meta from Facebook, have a much more open AI policy where they basically release their models, and those models are called Llama, and they are very good, and they are released for free, and you can all use them, and I've used them. But regardless of whether you release the models, they're out of reach of most people. I can run these models, I can refine them, I can't train them from scratch. I don't have that kind of resource. I don't have enough money to pay the electricity bill for the server farm. In most areas of science, you might read a paper and you might go, that's good, but I think I can change the thing and make it slightly better. And then you release a paper that makes it slightly better, and someone else does, and someone else does, and everyone just gets slightly better at doing this thing. That doesn't necessarily happen so much in these big AI models, because ultimately there's only a few people that can do it. And
right. And yes. Okay.
So this kind of openness, I personally think, I'm an academic, so I would think this, right? But personally, I think openness is a good thing. Now, what's happened in the last few days?
I thought the video is less than 10 minutes. I just realized it's 20 minutes. That's so much. I'm gonna need to cut them off eventually.
Well, and also just before the end of the last year, is that a small company in China has released a model called DeepSeek, right? And there are a couple of flavors of this model, and we can talk about them, but they've kind of changed the game a little bit, right? Because what they've basically shown is that you can train with more limited hardware, still expensive, but much more limited, and you can train particularly the most recent variant of models much more efficiently in terms of the amount of data you need to collect, which has been a huge pain for everyone. So perhaps we'll break down a little bit about some of the things that the model does that other models don't do, and why this is going to be quite a big deal. Let's talk about V3 first. So V3 is their kind of flagship model that you can think of as a little bit like ChatGPT, right? It's basically another large transformer. It's trained on lots of text. It has a conversation. I've spoken to it, you know, as much as one can speak to a chatbot, and it answers perfectly reasonable questions, and it acts in much the same way you would expect. Right? And you can actually use it online now. V3 offers lots and lots of different performance benefits over previous models, which make it much cheaper to train. The company that trained it are claiming that they trained this model, which is similar in terms of performance to Llama, to ChatGPT, for $5 million of hardware and electricity. Right? To give you an idea, one of the largest models might be upwards.
Okay, so it is $5 million.
Of 100 million, possibly towards $1 billion, right? And you've also got to consider the fact that you may not hit the right model the first time. You might have multiple variants you're training, right? The amount of money and electricity being used to train these models is absolutely enormous. There's a reason that Microsoft are exploring restarting up a nuclear power plant. So it does this in lots of different ways, but I wanted to kind of talk about a couple.
Isn't that funny? Nuclear power plants coming back to life because of language models? Like, I'm for it, but it's funny. Why?
Couple of ways that I think are quite interesting. So one of them is called mixture of experts, which is mixture of experts. One of the things that big models have tried to do is everything, right? So the idea is you have one chatbot to rule them all. And the idea is that if you ask it a maths problem, or you ask it a language problem, or you ask it a definition of something in physics, it will be able to answer those questions. And I think, you know, we've observed that that is often the case, but not always the case, right? And the better you get at some tasks, maybe you get slightly worse at other tasks.
So it's like a jack of all trades.
Yeah, master of none kind of situation. But there is another downside to this, which is that it's very expensive to do this, right? If you have a model with, let's say, 400 or 500 billion parameters, you have to store that in memory somewhere. And when you run through it, that all gets activated, and you have to work out your mathematics throughout that whole model to get to the prediction.
So there's the training session, which takes a lot of energy anyway.
Yeah.
And then also
inference is what we call it, yeah, when you actually talk to the thing. And you've got to think that you're going through this network a lot of times, because it probably only produces 1 or 2 tokens at a time. And so it's not very efficient. Lots of AI models for classification of things will just go like that, and they'll tell you what the answer is. This tells you what the next word is, and then it goes back and tells you what the next word is.
That's true. Classification is easier. Find it kind of alarming, to be honest. Like, Microsoft is not experienced at nuclear energy. I guess you want someone who has better experience at nuclear. I mean, the hope is that they employ people who know what they're doing, right? Yeah, because, like, again, I'm for it. I'm for that. Getting cleaner energy, and nuclear is one of them. Yeah. And, like, the hope is that it doesn't only benefit them, it benefits everybody, you know?
and it's hugely expensive to do this. Once it's been trained and maybe cost you $100 million because it's a giant model, it then is difficult to use because you have to have this on huge data centers so that enough people can talk to it at once, and it's very, very expensive even to ask it simple questions.
So that's the thing that has been the case.
That's the previous one, yeah. What Mixture of Experts does is it's trying to have different bits of a network focused on different tasks. But let's imagine you have a prompt here that comes in and you have a giant network that finally gives you your answer over here, right? And this has, let's say, 670 billion parameters in it. The problem is you don't know exactly which bit is solving which problem, right? It might be a little bit over here and a little bit over here, and actually the rest of it's kind of not useful in solving this particular question because it's got other stuff that it's doing. So maybe you ask it a very specific maths question. What Mixture of Experts will do is have trained a specific part of this network, a much smaller part, to solve that problem for you. And so you basically have the early stages will route the question to different parts of the network and then only activate a small...
So this is the, did it say 37 somewhere we looked at? Where did we look at those numbers? Wait a second, this is R1? Yeah, 37 to the 670 something. This is that part.
All part of it, let's say 30 billion parameters, right, which is a huge, huge saving.
Yep, 37 billion, you're right. They definitely will employ experts. You can only have so many experts. Yeah. But all it takes is a manager, like someone who should not be named, doesn't get it and says, right, we'll just fire everyone. Yeah. Oh, because they don't use Twitter. Fair. Nope. Oh yeah, let's fire all the system admins because Twitter doesn't go down, so we don't need them. Yeah. When there is no problem, you're like, it's because we don't need them, not because they're doing a great job. Okay. Wow, you are making the future a little bleak, but you have every reason to, because currently the world is being run by billionaires.
So this sort of shaded area here will activate, and then that will produce your answer. You can develop systems using agents like this where you have one that's trained to do this and one that's trained to do this, and you just ask the right one, right? Suppose I want to train a network to write my emails for me.
I am happy with how far he explained it. I can even put the link in the chat. If you guys want to hear the rest of the explanation, I really love their videos. So here you go. All right. Now I'm going to move on to the, before we move on to the smaller versions, which let's try and look at what, trying to click a link here, the paper says. So this is the R1 paper that came out a week ago, I'm guessing, January 22nd. And if we view the PDF, it loads, as you can see. Ta-da! Oh, wow. Hold up. What I see... Is that new? Oh, wait. Why did I think this was a zoom in? Dude, zoom in. All right. So this is DeepSeek V3. This is R1. MashaAllah. But why? So things... Okay. I'm like, why are other stuff different? Because it's comparing it with O1. That is why it's all so high. Wow, that's so cool. Comparing it to like the big boys. Okay. So, oh, what? They're not putting their author names? Is this a draft? Like I don't think this, no, this is not submitted to anywhere. Cool. Incentivizing reasoning capability in LLMs via reinforcement learning. Very, very, like, title. It's a title. Yes, we are still streaming. Cool. Now, we introduce our first generation reasoning model. It's the first generation reasoning model, and it's on par with, I suppose, O1 is also a first generation reasoning model, but hey, that is amazing. DeepSeek R1 0 and DeepSeek R1. Oh, so it's 2. I see R1, I see R1. Oh, is this like a smaller version? The R1 0 is a model trained via large-scale reinforcement learning without supervised fine-tuning. Huh. As a preliminary step, okay, demonstrates remarkable reasoning capabilities. It's a technical report, not an academic paper. Thank you. Yes, you're right. Through reinforcement learning, R1 0, not 0 R1, naturally emerges with numerous powerful and intriguing reasoning behavior. However, it encounters challenges such as poor readability and language mixing. Really? To address these issues and further enhance reasoning performance, we introduce DeepSeek R1, which, like, it's built upon this, right? Incorporates multi-stage training and cold start data before RL. I do not know what this means, but I'm hoping we will find out as we go further. It is distilled version. Yeah, 32 quin distill, or like Distilbert of R1, basically. What's on Hugging Chat? Oh, okay. Yeah. So, right. DeepSeek achieves performance comparable to O1 on reasoning tasks. To support the research community, we open source 0 and R1 and 6 dense models from 1.5 billion to 70 billion, distilled from R1 based on Quinn and Llama? What does that mean? What does based on mean? Does it mean it's built upon them? Huh. Cool. All right. See? Quinn 32B is the base model, and they trained it to mimic R1. All right. So these are base models. Are they mixed? All right. I do want to read. Oh, cold start. I don't know what it means. Experiments. Okay. Limitations. Okay, so this is basically like a 20-page report, which is a lot. I need an LLM to summarize it for me. Okay, I am not gonna read the introduction. I hope. So what is their contribution to science, right? This is what this is. Post-training. We've heard of pre-training, but have you heard of post-training? Large-scale reinforcement learning on the base model. We directly apply RL to the base model without relying on supervised fine-tuning as a preliminary. So this is what cold start was supposed to mean? Okay, this approach allows the model to explore chain of thought for solving complex problems, resulting in the development of DeepSeek R1 0. It demonstrates capabilities such as self-verification, reflection, and generating long chain of thought. marking a significant milestone for the research community. Notably, it is the first open research to validate that reasoning capabilities of LLMs can be incentivized purely through reinforcement learning without the need for supervised fine-tuning. Okay, this breakthrough paves the way for future achievements, hopefully. Yeah, why not? We introduced our pipeline to develop R1. I want to see that. Pipeline incorporates 2 RL stages aimed at discovering improved reasoning patterns and aligning with human preference, as well as 2 supervised fine-tuning stages that serve as the seed for the model's reasoning and non-reasoning capabilities. We believe the pipeline will benefit the industry by creating better models. Paper will talk a bit about R1 0 and it contrasts, compares it to R1. 0 was a variant where they didn't optimize for thinking to be readable and just let it improve. That's funny to have non-readable thinking. What I'm curious about is like, so this is an open source model. Like you can do RAG with this, right? You can. I'm guessing people can even try and recreate the whole thing, because especially since it's based on these. All right. Distillation, smaller models can be powerful too. That's cute. So this is what they have used. And then summary of evaluation. Excels in a wide range of tasks. What I'm happy about is the multilingual aspect. Like, because like their language is not the language that's being used everywhere else, so they care about their language, and in turn other languages like can go through the door. So I like that. Including creative writing, general question answering, editing, summarization, and more. Impressive length controlled win rate of 87% on Alpaca eval and 93% on, this is further, showcasing its ability to intelligently handle non-exam oriented queries. Wow. All right, so approach. This is approach. Oh, I'm like, show me the technical stuff, and I see an equation, and I just glitch. I've seen quite a lot of people confused or read too much into the thinking readability. The paper only mentions it offhandedly and doesn't give examples. I think, though, it just means like, lazy grammar and mixed Chinese English. Maybe. Okay, that in a way makes a lot of sense, because like it still gives you the information, but not in a way that a normal person can read it. But if you decode it, it's still valid, because like maybe it's a mix of everything it knows. Can I run away from this and look at one of the things that you shared, which is the smaller version? $30? AI research team claims to reproduce DeepSeek core technologies for $30? This is $30? Relatively small R1 0 model. Cool. Has remarkable problem-solving abilities. This is serious? Wow. Okay, I'm gonna read this, but it better tell me how to do it by the end of this small blog. AI research team. Ooh, UC Berkeley. Okay, I trust them. Led by PhD candidate Jiayi claims to have reproduced DeepSeek R1 Zero. Okay, even it's the R1 thing. Technologies for just $30, showing how advanced models could be implemented affordably. Affordably is a word. Oh, it's linked. Is this it? Okay. Oh wow, that is the one that I also linked. Hey. That is literally the one that I also linked somewhere yesterday. Yup. No? Yes? Because like I was like, what is this website? I've never heard of it. This is it, right? No, it's not. Is it? Wait, let me click this and see if they are. Thank you. Yep, it is it. And I think it, when you click something, it leads there, maybe? Yeah, good. Wait, does this link to that? Or is that a different thing? I don't know. I really saw this. Maybe it's, I just clicked your link. But I saw this. Where did I see it? Oh, you linked it. Okay. It's open sourced. Different to. Okay. There are two different things. Got it. Yeah, that is very good to know that there are multiple replication efforts. I'm gonna quickly read this. Maybe it gives me a heads up to what's coming. So, according to them, they reproduced it in the countdown game. I don't know what a countdown game is. And the small language model with 3 billion parameters. That's way too small. Go back like 3 years ago and that would be huge. Developed self-verification on research abilities through reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is really having a comeback. Pan says they started with a base language model prompt and a ground truth reward. Okay. Yeah, evaluation sometimes stumps me. So, okay. One interesting takeaway was that they couldn't get it to work below 1.5 billion. But this is 3, okay. Game is based on a British game show with the same name, where in one segment, players are asked to find a random target number from a group of other numbers assigned to them using basic arithmetic? I didn't get this. Okay. The team said their model started with dummy outputs, but eventually developed tactics like revision and search to find the correct answer. One example showed the model proposing an answer. Okay. Verifying whether it was right and revising it through several iterations until it found correct. Well, I'm dying. I think I'm back. I don't like the fact that my voice can just go away. Ahem. Ahem. All right, I think I'm back. As in 0.5 billion didn't learn to reason. You get a set of numbers and a total to. Okay, you get a set of numbers and a total. Okay, all right. So that you have to like make the total. You can only use each number once. Okay. Choose various operators. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. that is easy to understand. Thank you. Okay, I really need to drink more water before I lose my voice again. So, aside from countdown, Pan, so this is like one way to evaluate, which is really cool. So the fact that you're like, it verifies it, it revises it. I'm guessing it's chat, so you can see its train of thought or output, some sort of output. Pan also tried multiplication, on their model. So this was just summation. What's happening? And it used a different technique to solve the equation. It broke down the problem using the distributive property of multiplication, much in the same way as some of us would do when multiplying large numbers. Wow, it did brain math. Mind math? I don't know what it's called. Then it solved it step by step. Okay, see, there it is. Think and answer. Okay, it does look chat-y. So this is the numbers. Create this. Let's solve this step by step. And then what it did is, these are the numbers. Exactly once, basic arithmetics equals 65. One possible combination is, let's check. That's cute. And plus 7, 79, that's too much. Well, you're supposed to use the whole thing? I thought you can use some of them. Okay, no, you're supposed to use the whole thing. Doesn't equal that. Another one would be, let's check it. That's so cute. Doesn't equal that. Trying different combination. Nope. And then still does not. However, if we try, we get this. Ooh, does not. After further trial and error, I found that. It looks like, you know, when the teacher asks you to write a report, which does not equal that. However, because this one here said finally, I was like, okay, maybe this is the last one. However, if we try, we get that. Ta-da! And then there's a different one, which is multiplication. All right. Okay. Berkeley team experimented with different bases with their model. They started with 500 million parameters. Model would only guess a possible solution, then stop. Without thinking. It is difficult. Yeah. No matter if it found the correct answer or not. Interesting. They started getting results where the model learned different techniques to achieve higher scores. That's the point you were talking about. The issue with not thinking ahead, you output the word finally. You're like, if I say finally, it will work. Yeah, basically. So that's where the multi-token thingy comes. Do not say finally unless it's the actual final one. Higher parameters 3 to 7 led to finding that actually does not matter to me, like getting the correct answer in fewer steps, but maybe it helps with inference time, maybe. What's more impressive is that the Berkeley team claimed it only cost around, shut up. You know why it only cost around $30? They had to get 3 coffee, from, let's say, Starbucks, and everything else was paid by the university. Currently, OpenAI, the API costs $15 per million input tokens. That's more than 27 times pricier than DeepSeek R1, which is 0.55. They're doing great. Okay. Pan says this project aims to make emerging reinforcement learning scaling research more accessible. 100%. Thank you, Pan. Everybody say thank you, Pan. Okay, it's the compute cost. Really, they didn't account for the coffee they drink. However, machine learning expert, why do I know this name? Nathan Lambert. Is he a Hugging Face person? Why do I know this name? Unknown. Maybe no, reinforcement learning. Oh, Alan. Ah, okay. Allen Institute of AI. Okay. Is disputing DeepSeek's actual cost, saying it is reported 5 million, does not show the full picture. There is no accounting for coffee, I know. Other costs like research personnel, yeah, salary, infrastructure. Isn't computing, if you like rent, already in infrastructure? And electricity aren't included. Did OpenAI include those? Saying the cost could be 500 million to 1 billion. It's still less than what OpenAI does. I love that everybody is comparing it with OpenAI. So here's GitHub. Oh no, I don't like it when links open in their place. Cute. The recipe. You followed the algorithm, given a base LM, prompts and ground truths. Reward, we run the RL. Apply to countdown. It just works. Yeah. Crin-base. We have Crin. This is all Crin. Okay, different bases. Either base or instruct models work. Instruct models learn faster. Extra instructions tuning isn't necessary, which supports the design decision. I think ByCloud's video from half a day ago is a good argument for the pricing being reasonable. Saying they're making the GPU hours more understandable by putting market rate cost to what they mean, which is a good way to understand it. Thanks for the link.
A week after DeepSeek R1 was announced.
Oh. Thanks. I want to look at this before I go to that one. It's very task dependent. Number self-verification using a rule. Okay. One caveat, it's validated only in the countdown task, but not the general reasoning domain. I mean, why would it be? We're now bounded by compute. Please reach out. That is so cool. Tiny zero. Is it the same information? Installation, countdown task, training. Examples. Huh? Oh, okay. Where's the train file? Thank you for sharing it. Where's the train file? Data is there. Virl, where's Virl? There it is. Okay. Main trainer. There it is. I didn't see .py. I was like, where? Yeah. Note that we don't combine the main What is ray trainer? Cool. So here's my question. Like, this is a serious question. If I have data that is compatible, ooh, I see the word countdown. I think I just answered myself. Yep, I just answered myself. If I have data that is compatible, can I train it with my own data? I don't even know what it is. I'm just asking. I think the answer is not a yes, right? Because this is modified. And the data is in, I need to go back to here. Data directory train, oh, it's a parakeet. So I guess we cannot, but what sort of data does it need, you know? That is my question. Like, if I wanted to train it, what should I do? You know? Ooh, paper's on the way, woo woo. Out of VRAM. Ah, okay. Instruct. You did this one. Oh, okay. Data preparation to follow chat template. Okay. 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 So I guess I'm guessing DeepSeek people have more information somewhere, no? Do they? Do they? I'll probably need, because like, if I go to, what is this video? Ah, okay. Ooh, allegations. It's about allegations. Wow. Because like, for me, data prep is the biggest part, you know? Oh, hey, this block is inspired by this. Nice. Maybe, ooh. Okay, so we have something. Maybe I'm not reading this well enough. I do want to experience the aha moment for myself, but like with my own stuff. What is docs? Okay, now I'm making no sense. So, one suggests, 0 suggests, I think doesn't matter. The part about the supervised fine-tuning, is that the part where it says doesn't matter? The idea is to use RL to improve. Okay, but like, let's say I give it Arabic data. Would it get it? Or will RL find meaning out of it? Because I'm really interested, especially with a $30 tag, you know, price tag. Okay. Yes, it has it has shocked the industry, but also like everybody else. In the paper, they described an aha moment when using pure RL to train the model. During this phase, the 0 first part of R1 learns to allocate more thinking time to a problem by re-evaluating its initial approach without any human feedback or data describing how to do it. Model already understands Arabic. You're right. Yes, it already understands way too many languages, which is just beautiful. Base model would have to understand the language. Okay. So base model. Thank you. Okay. in this blog post, we want to recreate the small aha moment of R1 using group relative policy optimization. And the countdown game. Okay, this is also the countdown game. In a very loose sense, kind of using RL to enhance chain of thought. We will train an open model using reinforcement learning, trying to teach it self-verification and search abilities. Yeah, no, this is like about reasoning. I was about to ask, okay, but will it be able to, because currently language models are not good at math. That's why like countdown or other math stuff is being cared about. But would it reason on like, I don't know, government policy or something? And the answer is probably yes. Model already has to have the sense of being able to use chain of thought to get somewhere with the problem before you start. Yeah, I guess it's about the base model, right? And then we will train an open model using reinforcement learning. Right, we said yes, countdown game. I also understand what it means now. Okay, here's an example. Includes an interactive code which you can run in a Jupyter notebook to train a model using GRPO and QLoRa. Laura's here. Great way to learn to use TRL. What does the T stand for? And this GRPO, very slow, requires a lot of compute. Okay. Additionally, I added a script and instructions to run the training on node with multiple GPUs. Okay, cool. So it's inspired by the countdown guy. Proved it with a small model. Group relative policy optimization is a reinforcement learning algorithm to improve reasoning capabilities of LLMs. I did not know that. Okay, fair. It's hard to evaluate government policy questions. Yes, that is true. It was introduced in the DeepSeek math paper. There's a DeepSeek math paper? Where? How many papers, DeepSeek related papers are there? This is from a year ago. This is from a year ago? Huh. Is it? I'm guessing it's also reinforcement learning. I learned about DeepSeek like maybe December or November, maybe December 2024. It's been around. So, in the context of mathematical reasoning, okay, GRPO modifies the traditional proximal policy optimization by eliminating the need for a value function model. Instead, it estimates baselines from group scores, reducing memory usage and computational overhead. GRPO, now also used by the Quinn team, can be used with rule/binary-based rewards, as well as general reward models to improve models on helpfulness. Okay. Our L method they cited is another DeepSeek paper from a year ago. Yeah, you're right. You're right. There is latency in the chat, or maybe I just didn't look at chat, sorry. So Generate multiple outputs for each prompt using the current policy. Reward scoring. Each generation is scored using a reward function. See, now government policy is hard to say what you're doing here. Advantage advantage is here, average is here. Okay, the average reward of the generated output is used as a baseline. The advantage of each solution within the group is then computed relative to this baseline. The reward is normalized within a group, and then the policy optimization. Policy, what? Somebody wrote, what is this called? I forgot. The code thingy where, algorithm, I suppose, yeah. Optimize the GRPO objective, which includes the calculated advantage and KL divergence term. What is KL? This is different from how PPO implements the KL term within the reward. What was KL supposed to be? What am I supposed to know already? Okay. This is like more like pseudocode, yes. Looks like a screenshot from the paper. Oh yeah, maybe. Okay. Setting up the environment. Hugging Face, woo! PyTorch, VLLM, TRL, transformers, and datasets. I have not heard of TRL. Don't worry, thank you. It's a library on top of transformers and dataset, which makes it easier to fine-tune RLHF. RLHF, does that mean reinforcement learning and Hugging Face? I don't know. Align open LLMs. Okay, so this is downloading stuff. Using the hub, that's nice. I like using the hub. And then generate training samples with reasoning prefix from. So this is the data set. Thank you. See, oh shoot, sorry. So there's even this. Is this the guy's data set, or is this? Nice. You need a data set to be ready, don't you? Oh no, this is target and okay. I don't really understand KL, but it comes up a lot in ML studies. You've seen it before. Okay. It's good that they call it KL and not the whole thing, because I don't know if I can pronounce this or not. Okay, so this data set is like target and numbers. All right. And contains samples. Yep, that's what we're using, which is the 3 billion. 3 billion parameter instruction tuned model makes it easier to showcase the aha moment. It follows the prompt format. You can use any version, okay? I want to say Jiayi, or maybe J, I don't know. Pan explored that the model needs to have a certain yes, that's true. Okay, so loading the data set. Select subset of 50K samples. A measure of how, thank you, from Wikipedia, a measure of how much model probability distribution is different from true probability distribution. Huh. That does not sound as difficult as they're making it out to be. Very, very interesting. Okay. We have the data set. We have a sample of the data set. We have the tokenizer, which is from the same thing. Generate R1 prompts. See? This is the stuff I wanted. Someone to write it for me and me to go try and change it. Looks like a Chinese name. Yes. I also thought that it looks like a Chinese name. I'd assume, however, it's pronounced, it's three. Oh, really? Like Korean names? So like Jiayi? Okay. That does help my brain. So I have like around 15-ish minutes of streaming time, and I'm trying to optimize it because this blog is really interesting. Looks like it's been westernized to have the given name first. Yep. Just like all the most Korean names. Yeah. Training using the GRPO. So is the GRPO educational part more optimized to math? I hope not. Let's see. TRL supports GRPO through a dedicated, there's a trainer for it, for aligning LMs from preference data as described in this math paper. It's a subclass of the trainer from Transformers. Cool. It's okay, so it is optimized for math. Compute is math for me. Okay. It's so you could still use the trainer library because this is like a different iteration of it. Supports all the same features: logging, checkpointing, distributed training, parameter, efficient fine-tuning. This GRPO trainer supports outcome reward model, a custom reward function because it's RL, right? That can be used to implement rule-based reward models. In the R1 paper, they implemented rule-based reward models to verify the correctness of the generated solutions. In our example, we're going to do a similar approach where we will create two reward functions. I'm back to the government policy thing. It's really difficult to have reward functions. Like it's actually, unless like you ask about past decisions and you just say, this is good, this is bad. That's it. You meant optimized for math as in good at training for math problems, not the maths, not, is the math good for training? Maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, can the same thing be used for non-math stuff? Checks if format is correct. Yeah, thinking, answer. That's our format reward. Accuracy reward extracts the equation from answer, evaluates it. See, this part is needed. You need to have something to evaluate against. Okay, nice. So here's our reward function. Starts from here to here. And the formatting is being, if it does, match is none, or if it does yes, no. The distill model really don't seem to understand the think part. They have their answer. That's cute. This is me when trying to write a report. I don't know what to write. They're to the user in there. R1 proper doesn't. I think like we saw that the answers here were really well done. Maybe it's the whole like 1.5 mil B works, but lower doesn't. So like very distilled, like super distilled. And then this is the equation reward function forward. Okay. Try our reward with a example. A sample, right? Correct sample. Is this? None of the examples start with think as we added it synthetically. Yes, to the prompt. my question is this human-made or did it make it? It looks like it's human-made, right? No. Yeah, it has to be human-made, right? But is it thinking? Or is it just the answer? Here it is thinking. Okay. And it's not even finishing the thought. Huh. I think it's more that Distill taught them to output chain of thought without knowing why they did it. Huh. Kind of like, what is cargo culting? These are interesting words. Any of religious movements, chiefly but not solely, exhibits belief in the... Oh, wait. Huh? Special... New Age of Blessing. Special arrival of cargo. Of goods from... This is really interesting. Did it have to do with, Ah! Oh, wow! I see planes and, that is so interesting. This is crazy. Thank you. It's intended when you do something because it has worked without understanding why. Ah. Huh. That's why there are technical stuffs, but they're not cool. Okay. All right. Checking status. Things are apparently working. 5 more minutes. Looks good. Now let's define the remaining training parameters, create a trainer, and start training. Woo woo. I understand most of these things, and I am very happy about it. Some config. This is our model. It's BF16, right? Yeah, LOAT. Flash attention 2. Okay. Training hyperparameters. Our app directory, learning rate, scheduler, logging step, max step. There's 1 GPU. Huh. Right? No, this is train batch size. Is there? Okay. Gradient, checkpoint, BF16. These are GRPO specific parameters. Prompt length and completion. Okay, max output, number of generations 2, and then our trainer model, reward function, arguments, the data sets, and the config. How long before AI replaces me as in me streaming, or me with a job that makes money? First to previously uncontacted tribes. Yeah, I gathered. Build the airplanes because they would drop supplies. It worked, so they hope that. Wow, yeah, that is so cool. I hadn't heard of it. How long? I mean, with reasoning models, let's give it 5 more years. Because, like, the job that makes money. Ooh, good one. So, because there are still computers that use old technology, adoption of new technology is always with yeah. Oh, I can't be replaced now. I mean, there are already influencer replacements, like they have existed for years and years. But content creation, yeah, definitely has already started, but for jobs of like where the work is yeah, like bureaucratic, I would say. Yes, hi Deepak. Yeah, I think it will take time because it's the trust part is not there. The H, I have a bone to pick with H. I was like, I Deepak. Is H the only letter in the alphabet that does not have its own sound? You know, like A has A, B has B, C. I mean, it can be used as K, but it still has a resemblance. But like, there's no H in H, you know? So that's where it went. Yeah, I don't think it will be, yeah. The maybe, companies or like even startups will use it more, but government people, that the trust needs to be there. W. Oh. But there's still an U, isn't there? W. I guess W is not a U. It's not a U, it's just a U. Okay, I'll add it to the bone to pick with letters. Okay? Yeah, and then you train it. Okay. Note that reinforcement training is very slow and compute intensive. Running a single step takes 20 minutes. How is that slow? Or maybe, I don't know. It's like fine. Training example using DeepSpeed VL. More than 20 minutes per step with only 2 generations per sample, it is not feasible. We need to do a better job scaling up. Okay. The TRL added support for distributed training with DeepSpeed and using VLLM for faster generation. There is this script and then this configuration. It is tested and validated on 4 H180 gigabyte GPUs, I'm guessing, where a single step takes around a minute. And then you can leverage this for distributed training. Number of processes, -1, GPUs -1. One step, that's one step, not one epoch. Yeah. Yep. I've run stuff for like a few days, so I don't mind. 5 years, you say, huh? What will I be doing by then? Full-time streamer. So if I mean, I would love to retire early, but I don't know how feasible that is. Yeah, even when you retire, like for me, retirement would mean I teach at a university a few days a week. That's retirement for me. Instead of working 8 hours a day and getting good amount of money. I hope I have a good retirement plan. But like if I didn't have a job in 5 years, what would I be doing? Find another job? I don't think content creation would ever be that level of lucrative, but I think I will be able, I'll either go back to studying or find another job. Because I don't think, like, even if knowledge worker related jobs go away, other types of jobs would still be available. Like, I could work at a supermarket, you know? I hope so. Would we have robots by then? Definitely not. Because like when you think 20 years ahead, you'll be like, oh, it's going to be a utopia. No, not with the way the world is currently moving. Yeah, so if it's like very dystopia, then I guess I'll garden and have chickens. Then I'll be set for life, you know? Thank you. Oh, of course I remember your name. I remember your name. You've been around. We did hashcode around the same time. You've been around since my hashcode times. Thank you. Yeah, it's cool. There are more than 1,000 people who have clicked subscribe, which was like, really? For me? Why? Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I like your questions. But yeah, gardening, well, is it agriculture or is it gardening? Because gardening would mean flowers, but like having stuff to eat, you know? And then chickens with eggs. Yeah, you're set for life. People back then knew what they were doing, you know? And then results. 50, 25 steps. We have a completion sample in the folder. Success. Correctly solved equations. Training observations. At 50 steps, it's learn the format. 100 steps. Rate of solving is around 25%. Not as many follows on Twitch, CL co-streams on Twitch. That's true. I do co-stream. Yeah. At 200 steps, the performance seems to converge much slower. Wow. It's it's doing better very slowly. 100 steps, 25, 240, 450, 50%. And model kept its new format from step 200. 3 potential assumptions why model shifts from word reasoning to programmatic execution. Not strong enough. Countdown. The countdown. Problem with the reward function. Countdown game tasks might force the model naturally to learn the most effective way to solve equation. No other formats are required. Definitely the thing you're training on does matter. And not long enough. No way! R1, 8,000 steps? That's not a lot, honestly. It's definitely a lot, but this is WNB, right? 200 and then 4 and 5 450. Okay. It's a break point for open science and open source development. Nice. R1 learned reasoning using it's a reproducible sample that uses that. Implementation focuses on a specific task rather than general reasoning. That's true. In our mini R1 experiment using GRPO with 2 rule-based reward, but already required significant compute for H100 GPUs, running for 6 hours to complete 450 training steps on a 3 billion parameter model. Nice. So this gives you the idea of how much compute is needed. Because they ran it for a model of 671 billion, model for 8,000 steps, probably did many ablations. Yeah, reinforcement learning is nice. I am also looking forward. Ooh, it would be nice to reach out to this person. Okay. I assume these were different efforts. Odd that they both chose the countdown task. It does say inspired by, so maybe they did it after, because this is 2 days ago. This here is, where's the date on this? Wow, shut up. How was this 4 months ago? I'm guessing it's built upon it then. Huh. Okay. I think it's time for me to end the stream. Thank you for being here. Did you think you learned something? Because I definitely did not go into as... I mean, we did look at a lot of details, technical stuff, and I do feel like I understand, like if I wanted to make something or like do the $30 6-hour training, definitely not $30 6-hour training. No. H100s are not $30. Okay. Yeah, at least there's a way for smaller, I'd say, companies, not people, or like universities to try and test stuff, tasks, especially like task oriented. Yeah. I do think that I did learn. I do know more now. Okay. If you guys would be interested in trying to do like a specific stream where we learn about one thing, that is very interesting. But it has to like align with my interests as well. But I'm open to suggestions. You can shout at me on the internet. Sorry, I mean like you can reach out however you want to. Yeah. Yep. I am very like, I really want to see if there's any way I can try and use what this guy is doing. Or girl, you never know. No, Phil, okay. And see if I can retry somehow. Renting H1 was $2 pay as you go for the price. So I tried renting GPUs like a few months ago, and I don't know what I did. I limited to like 100 just to test it. I trained something, there was an error, and I was like, okay, I'm going to come back to this and try to fix it. While waiting, I hadn't paused it, and my $100 just like whoosh, went away. And then I got a bit disheartened. Yeah, around $2 ballpark. You haven't tried it. Yeah, I think it was H100s as well there. And it, like the pay was like less than $1 as far as I remember. I tried, is it called, it starts with a J, I forgot. Hold up. Jarvis Labs AI, that one. That's the one that I went for because a friend said it's like one of the cheapest places for them to train. Yeah, so you can have a look at it, but I didn't know how to use the platform and my money went down the drain. So I'm trying to be more careful. Yeah, or like, yeah, work with people where they charge you with compute, not with I get that storage is also something that needs to be charged, but not in like less than 24 hours, you know? Okay. So thank you for helping me learn new stuff and for keeping my attention for like 2 hours on one thing. Like this is an achievement. I hope we can learn more. I'm guessing I'm gonna stream again on Friday, so see you then, inshallah, with yeah, the finishing of the Hugging Face the course, but also the CMU one, because the CMU one was talking about stuff that these are talking about. There was one thing that was like, oh my god, Graham Newbeck talked about it in that lecture. I forgot what it was, but it did remind me. So I'm glad that the things I'm learning are getting together and becoming somewhat useful. I am becoming somewhat useful, maybe? I don't know. I hope I become a useful member of society. Yeah, and sometimes being useful is just smiling at one person. You know, I think because companies are running your code on a GPU, they can't really schedule it when you're running but not really computing anything. But it had stopped anyway. Okay, I gotta go. Ending the stream in 5. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate, learning together. Yeah. I hope, what do I hope? I hope you have a lovely day. Yeah, there. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Ending the stream, and that was a successful scheduled stream. I can do that again. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.